Children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Talk Today is brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host, Orrett Connor.
Good afternoon and welcome to Talk Today. I am your guest host, Orrett Connor. We will have a panelists in the studio with us. We expect to have Dr. Steve McField in the studio. No other guests scheduled to come in, so the phone lines will be open. As well. So don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. An extension of For the Record this morning. I did receive some information about a birthday greeting, and unfortunately I failed to read it this morning, so I'm going to share it with you. And it goes out to Mr. Patrick Cover, who's celebrating his birthday on Sunday, the 26th of July. Patrick is the father of Mr. Jackson Cover, who is the young Caymanian who was drafted into the National Hockey League, I believe the Washington, or was it the Senators that he was drafted by. Of course, he arrives on island tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning, tomorrow at 10 a.m. So it's a combination of a birthday for the father and a joyous welcome for his son, who will arrive here Saturday, tomorrow at 10 a.m. And these birthday greetings and congratulations are coming from the entire family to Patrick Cover and Jackson Cover, who will be arriving on island. So, folks, that is it to cover what I failed to do this morning on For the Record. Meanwhile, I just want to give you a preview of what's in our print newspapers, or online newspapers, sorry. Today, I always like to go to the Cayman Compass, because I must say, and I've said this before, and I will repeat it again, the quality, the timeliness, the research that goes into the articles that they write and are published really, really deserve lots of kudos. So, for instance, the headline today, the $32 million question, is Cayman getting value for its scholarship spending? And there's one report. I'm going to leave that one for the last because I'm going to have some comments about that. Shaded walkways planned for cruise visitors on the waterfront. Prosecution rules out mother's involvement in toddler's death. New visa limits students' stay in the U.S. New visa limits students' stay in the U.S. And this one, report. Permanent residents disadvantaged in job race. Now, I'm going to introduce Dr. Steve McField, and I'm going to go straight to that, bearing and talk about it, recognizing his limitations to discuss it because, to avoid any conflict of interest in his capacity on one of the Immigration Appeals Tribunal, right, Doc? Yeah, that you're still on.
I'm
chair, right. So to avoid any conflict there. But Doc, good afternoon. Welcome to. I got to make sure I say talk today rather than for the record. Unusual to have you in the afternoon, but again, this morning you were right there for the call when I made the call, and more than happy, to join me this afternoon as well. And thank you very much.
Yes, good afternoon. I don't know. I have to find another name for you now. Another nomenclature for you now. But anyway, thanks for asking me to come and talk today. It's in the afternoon. I hope I sound better in the afternoon than in the
You always sound good, no matter what time of the day it is.
in the morning.
No matter what time.
Yeah. So what is this? This has been a study, an investigation into whether permanent residents of the Cayman Islands are subjected to discrimination the same as generational Caymanians?
I think it's feedback from a survey that they have done, because it appears as if one of these companies, it says here that the permanent residents must apply to workforce opportunities and residents at Cayman work for approval if they're changing their job title. But Nova, which is this company that did this survey, Nova, which is part of CML Group, that's one of those recruiting companies, found that waiting times for that approval have increased. So based on them tracking their applications and feedback that they're getting from people, it appears as if those applications are being. Now, what people should need to understand is that, and that is changing as well, because there will no longer be such thing as permanent residence per se. You will have residence, but it will have a time limit on it. That is moving away from the 9 years and the opportunity to apply for permanent residence, getting permanent residence, and then become a British Overseas Territory citizen.
Yeah, but I believe that the foundation, the bottom of the question, the bottom of the problem is that these recruiting agencies, who are out there to make money mostly, that is their objective, fail to realize that if you have permanent residency by time, that means that you spend the 8 years and then you applied and you got permanent residency. there are conditions on your permanent residence that you can only work in the field or in the profession in which you were working on before you got permanent residence. The only permanent residence that can walk away and work in anywhere they feel like is the permanent residence who got it through marriage.
Right, exactly.
But if you came in as a waiter, and you want to work as a real estate agent, you have to apply to the board to change the designation of your permanent residency so that you can work as a waiter, as a real estate agent.
And what they're saying is that time frame is taking much longer. Now, my question to them, and I'm going to give credit because there are some organizations out there that are now looking and providing internships for young Caymanians and getting them into some of these occupations, especially in finance, getting them prepared for that. But where are these organizations when a Caymanian has been disadvantaged by the process? We see now where one particular entity I think they're seeking judicial review or something in relation to the fact that a condition was placed on a work permit that they must identify and train a Caymanian for the position because the work permit would not be renewed.
Yes.
Where are those people when it comes to batting for Caymanians? And my question to the permanent residents with the right to work, all of a sudden, for 8-9 years, you probably were in the same job. But now that you have obtained that permanent residence, right away, what are you doing? You're looking to enhance your opportunities. And that's not the end of it, because those jobs that they're leaving from, the other question is, are those jobs now being filled by Caymanians, or are they being replaced by another work permit holder?
Yes. That's the problem. And a problem is that the government has these regulations that are part of the law, and they are imposing them now on these work permits now to be able to regularize them and to give Caymanians a chance. And people are actually going to court challenging the government.
Yes.
That's a problem. That's a problem for the government. That's a problem. I mean, this is our land, and we have our own laws that is different from other people's laws. We have regulations in which the government imposes. And when you look at Section 16 of the Constitution, it says that the government has complete control over anyone who comes into the island to work or to live or to visit or anything who's not a Caymanian. And the government is using its constitutional powers to impose certain conditions to give Caymanians a chance. And all of a sudden, there is this uproar. It's because a lot of them don't have any respect for the Caymanian people and do not have any respect for the Cayman Islands. And that's a problem. And I can tell them that, from what I go up and down the country, and people come to see me and they talk and say this and they say that, it's not going to go good. Because if you live in such a small island and you want to have peace and tranquility and all of us to make a living and to live well and have a good family life and stuff, there has to be cooperation between all parties. It's not one people dominating the other people. That is not going to work. And you can see that all over the world now. In all the wars that people are having with each other, one country trying to dominate the other people, and even with all the embargoes against other countries, which is causing babies to die and people to live badly. That is terrible, a terrible place to be.
Yep.
And so this is such a small place. This is just a village compared to where some of those people come from. And the fact is that we all have to get along together. I used to write a lot for the newspapers and for the media. But one time, I had nearly every month I had 2 or 3 articles, and I wrote an article one time I think it was the Kimman News Service, to the fact that we all are in this boat together, rowing this boat together, and there was a proliferation of comments about, I'm not in the boat with you, blah blah, I'm not in the boat with you, and I knew some of those people who did it, and I stopped writing.
Okay.
I stopped writing, so I decided to talk.
Yes. Yeah.
Go to the airways. I'm so happy that I was invited to come on the shows.
And talk we will today,
Okay.
folks. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return the conversation, we'll continue with Dr. Steve McField. Please stay tuned. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Get ready, Cayman. R&B, HBCU culture, and elevated island nightlife come together for the first ever HBCU Alumni Weekend, July 23rd through 25th. Kick things off Thursday at Bliss with DJ Shism from Tampa's 106.5 The Beat, plus special guest Lene Vanee and Major League Baseball Network's AJ Andrews. Saddle up on Friday for the R&B Rodeo at the Wharf. 4 DJs, 2 parties at one venue with sing-along classics and a mechanical bull. Hosted by Babs from Wild 94.1 Tampa and Tiny. Then Saturday, dress in white for R&B en blanc at Bacaro, an elevated evening with a 4-course dinner, welcome champagne, and after party. Grab your crew, plan your looks, and get ready for Cayman's hottest weekend of the summer. Get tickets now at CaymanHBCUweekend.com. Brought to you by Cayman Airways, the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism and Executive Services.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Hi, this is Gary King from Totally 80s. My special guest this week is Christopher Cross. Christopher talks about the music he made early in his career. I'll also bring you up to speed with the latest news on the biggest stars of the decade.
This is Totally 80s.
Heard on Saturdays from 2 until 4 p.m. on Breeze 105.3 and 91.9. And brought to you with the kind compliments of KFC.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I am your guest host, Orrett Connor. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McField. One of our listeners has written and said, good afternoon. I hope that the government will tighten our PR laws, and we can talk some more about that in terms of the changes as well. Another person said the report is entitled "Permanent Residents Disadvantaged in Jobs Race," and they're wondering then who has the advantage, because it certainly ain't the Caymanians.
Yes, it certainly ain't the Caymanians then.
So it must be the persons who apply for work permits, I guess.
I guess is the person who can come here and stay for 15 years without detection.
Yeah, exactly.
They're the ones have the advantage because they're not paying any pension,
yeah,
or they're not paying any pension, or they're not paying any health insurance. Mm-hmm. So they're the ones that are getting that. Seems that they're the ones might be getting the advantage. I don't know.
Yep. So, Doc, we can switch gears a little bit. I know you want to talk about the chicken coop situation, and I see lots of comments on social media platforms in it, and I question whether or not those persons that are making the comments are actually reading the details of the court case, because some seem to be castigating the government and saying this is what we're requiring now for chicken coops to be able to withstand a Category 3, hurricane. But when you read the article about the court case, it exposes so much more. It goes so much farther into this. And my question, and it wasn't brought out in the report that the article that I read on it, whether or not these individuals who were taken to court were actually involved in commercial farming, commercially raising chicken, as opposed to just doing it their own.
To domestic farming, how it in your own backyard,
right,
for your own use.
Yes, as opposed to
domestic farming where you're selling to the public, and there are certain regulations that you have to abide by and procedures that you have to be implemented if you're selling to the public. But on the one hand, I think I haven't read the legislation. I haven't read the legislation. I think that came in way after I-1. Okay. Those amendments came in after I-1. But you can see why the government did that, because they did not want, after a hurricane, to go through the same problems they had with feral chickens after, when all of these chickens all over the island after I-1, you remember, got loose, and they were looking for food and invading people's properties all over, trying to survive. The government didn't want that, but on the other, that's the one hand. On the other hand, I think that people are looking at it in a different way. People are saying, listen, the government did this because they don't want us. They're protecting the other people who are importing chickens and are selling the chickens in the supermarkets and so forth. And they don't want the poor people to look after themselves and to be able to protect themselves and to do something for themselves. But I don't think that was the intention of the legislation. That was not the intention of the legislation.
Certainly.
The intention of the legislation was that if a hurricane comes, we don't want all the chickens escaping and going all over the islands like what happened after I-1. And if you are selling chickens and stuff to the supermarkets and to the farmers market and to the public, there are certain regulations that you have to go through, so the government can have proper inspections of your premises and so
exactly.
forth and so forth and so forth.
And it's also unfair to those commercial chicken farmers or egg farmers who are doing it the proper way.
The proper way,
and then to have someone doing it in their backyard.
Yes.
And also what people have to understand is that these cases were brought as a result of complaints from neighbors in the area, about these illegal structures and the illegal farming that was chicken farming that was going on as well.
The other thing that I see that is taking hold now is the people selling food stuff on the roads.
That's coming back, yeah.
That is coming back. People selling, we never had that before. We never went out and sold food on I guess so. Just one or two people did that. When I was in the court system, a lady used to sell food by the court's office.
Yeah.
But
it was regulated.
It was regulated. But
yep.
now everywhere you go now, we see a wagon or a shack or something, people selling food on the sidewalk.
And sometimes you don't even, it could be a private car, but they know all of the construction sites.
Yes.
And they go and they open up their trunk and they're selling out of their vehicle trunks and things of that nature. And, the only thing that's going to rein it in is, unfortunately, when someone gets seriously ill or otherwise, from the food. If
I am not cutting, food served by when there's a line, what you call it?
The queue, yeah.
What's it called that again?
When you're standing on the queue waiting. The buffet. Oh, okay, yes.
But if you go in and if you read, you'll see that is one of the most effective way of passing diseases and germs.
Yes. Yes.
Because everyone come picking up the spoon, picking up the utensils, and sometimes they go to the bathroom, they come back, they don't wash their hands. They come off the streets, they don't wash their hands before they touch the stuff, and then you come and you touch it, and it's passed on.
Yeah. Okay, folks, we have to take another commercial break. Please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Brit-K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Jay and Money and Appleton presents the Jamaica Independence Celebrations on Friday, July 31 at Compass Green with an all-day food fest. Come out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and enjoy your favorite Jamaican dishes. The nighttime concert features Jamaica's #1 comedian, Dufton Duffy Shepherd, local rising star singer Shay, and all the local dancers and performers, and the Kids Talent Contest. Admission is absolutely free with lots of prizes and giveaways. See you at the Compass Green on July 31 for Jamaica Independence Celebrations. Sponsored by Popeyes, Best Dress, Water, Excelsior Biscuits, Maggie, Suppligen, Grace Foods, Wellies, Rodney's Car Rental, White Construction, General Automotive Services, iCool Air Conditioning, Radio K-Man, and Breeze FM.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I am your guest host, Orrett Connor, filling in for Chalo, Mr. Charles Glidden. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McField. Just want to remind you, phone lines are open. If you want to call in, we don't have any specific topic that we're discussing. We will be going from one thing to the other. One of the issues I want you to talk about also, Doc, is that piece of legislation. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I have a copy of it because you provided me with a copy. When was it 1863?
Oh, the Cayman Act.
Cayman Act,
okay, yes.
Because what people don't understand is that was a significant move by the people of the Cayman Islands at that point in time. That was almost like a unilateral declaration of independence from the British government at that point in time.
Oh, 1831 from the 1860s.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
And they were treasonous. That was a treasonous move against the royalty, against the king.
Yeah.
In England,
mm-hmm.
and that was debated. That was debated some 1 year and a half before the act came into being.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to do, with these gentlemen down in Cayman who had defied the crown and who had taken their own independence? What are they going to do about those? And they came up with the fact that we have to ratify all the laws, all the illegal laws that they had made, because the laws that were made between 1831 to 1863, they were considered to be illegal by a legislature that had no existence.
Yes.
They're supposed to have no existence. And they came up with the idea of what we are going to do. We're going to ratify everything that they did, make it legal, and then we are going to make it illegal for them to continue.
Yes, yeah. But we want to go into more detail in that. So, Doc, and you can check your device now because I've forwarded it to you as well. And I want to thank the individual who sent this information to us. It has to do with commercial poultry houses. Understand the financial, production, cost, and requirements. It starts by saying, thinking commercial, it's time to start planning. Plan for success. Think like a business farmer. And this is from the Ministry of Plahi, right? And it says, here's how to start. Prepare a business plan. Submit to the Ministry of Plahi for review of grant funding, and they give the email address for that. Receive the grant, maintain financial and production records. Poultry house investment, $60,000 coop, fixed asset, will house over 1,000 hens. Structured lifespan is approximately 20 years. So the lifespan of the structure is approximately 20 years. Amortized cost is $5,000 per year, or $416.67 per month. 1,000 hens at 90% production produces 27,000 eggs per month. Increase cost of eggs by 2 cents per egg to recoup costs over the life of the asset. Think commercially, understand your costs, know the difference between fixed investment and monthly operating expenses, and keep accurate records that support your success. Look out for the upcoming training courses from CIG Small Business Team to help strengthen your financial planning and business management skills. So I want to thank that person for providing us with that as well. And we'll talk some more about the case as we go along. We do have a caller. Let's grab the caller before we go to our 1 o'clock news. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today. Good afternoon, caller. Okay, they're no longer there as well. So during in the court case itself, it appears as if some persons had actually started the process and they were actually waiting for the government to allocate the 1 acre properties, it would appear, in East End, where they were going to be doing their commercial farming from there if they were successful in being part of that first tranche of persons to get the property up there as well.
Yeah, because I couldn't think of any occasion where the government would actually pass legislation to hurt their own people. The poor people like that, people who are trying to etch out a living on a farm and so forth. But I see the safety of the country, the safety of the food, the safety of the product. So maybe I should go into that too. maybe I should spend some money and go into farming. But the only drawback on that, sir, is that the farmers are not protected with their products, with their goods. So they produce the eggs, they produce the food, and then they can't sell it on a daily basis because the food that's imported, as it's sold cheaper than the farmers can produce it. So which one is it? the dog wagging the tail wagging the dog, or the chicken, or the horse, or the cart before the horse.
Yes, yes. And the other argument that is used as well is talking about certification of products.
Yes.
And we see, for instance, in Jamaica, and Jamaica probably has, much better certification standards than we have. But we see hotels in Jamaica signing on to and dealing with local farmers there for their products, their produce, for them to have in their kitchens, in their restaurants in Jamaica. Because a lot of times people go to a jurisdiction because they want to be able to enjoy the local foods as well. Mm-hmm. It seems as if that some of the establishments here, like hotels, some may be accepting certain things, but because of whatever quality controls, and they always use this argument, because we are a global entity and we have hotels all over the world, we have certain standards that have to be applied. They use that argument even with work and work permit applications, where work, you have to advertise on work. We know now that has changed, and you can advertise through other sources, but the work portal, the jobs portal, there was the portal, but yet we have entities in this island that are requiring, or used to require, I'm not sure what happened since I was no longer on the board, but requiring Caymanian applicants, after they have applied for the job on the work portal, saying to them, now you have to go and make your application on our international portal that we have, as well. That's what people, are being told. So again, as far as the food quality, if we don't have the proper standards in terms of inspections and stuff like that, that's one of the reasons that they may use for not wanting to use locally produced items as well. I believe we do have a caller. Paul, too early to go to 1 o'clock before we take the caller, right? Let's grab the caller and see how far we get with it. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon. I'm so used to saying
good morning.
Yeah, for the record.
Okay.
That's my show. And good afternoon to the doctor. Called him yesterday. He never answered me. Called me like 12-something last night. I can't stay up all night waiting for him to call me.
You're not as young as Doc. You see, Doc is up that time of the night. You got to sleep.
Yeah, I wonder what is he up doing. That's what I want to find out.
Are you hearing, Doc?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Who's that, Lord Graham?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I called you late last night when I answered.
Yeah. I can't be up all night waiting for you to call.
Yeah.
I got to get my beauty nap.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen now, I hear you there talking about not protecting the farmers. One of your favorite countries, Canada. Mm-hmm. Canada say they're having a trade war with the U.S. Canada say there's no way that we're going to allow the United States to import dairy products into Canada. We will not allow that. We need to protect our farmers and whoever else that are in the dairy production, right? They do not allow no dairy products from the U.S. to come into Canada. So why is it that we can't do something of the sort if we can identify and prove that locally certain things can be produced locally? We should also put up some sort of embargo on import of certain goods that we can produce. We should do that too.
Or put a higher tariff on import duty.
Yes, be like Trump, put some tariffs on them. Do a Trump thing. So now you all sound we're jumping all over the place. So I got to jump now.
Okay. I'm going to interrupt you for a second because we have to go to the 1 o'clock news. Please stay on the line and let us go to the headline news, and then we're going to come back and get you to go on the next topic. How about that? Folks, please stay tuned. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
Radio station. Radio Cayman is the voice of the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
I'm April Cummings with your headlines. The Ministry of Sports is inviting the public to come out and welcome NHL draft pick Jackson Cover home tomorrow at 10 a.m. at Owen Roberts International Airport. Officials say the homecoming provides us an opportunity to celebrate Jackson's achievement and recognize the talent and determination behind his success. Again, that's tomorrow at 10 a.m. at Owen Roberts International. In regional news, Antigua and Barbuda's government is in talks with several other airlines after JetBlue's decision to pull out of the route. Leader of government business in the Senate, Shanella Govina, tells legislators the U.S. carrier gave no advance notice, citing an internal commercial decision to redeploy aircraft to Fort Lauderdale, along with rising prices and operating costs. Govia says the Director of Tourism for North America is already in negotiations with American Airlines, and discussions are also underway with Delta and United. Tourism Minister Charles Fernandez met with JetBlue officials this week, and the government says it expects the slot to be filled for the 2026-2027 tourism season and beyond. Ford Motor Company is recalling more than 500,000 Broncos over a wiring problem that could spark a fire. The recall covers 565,000 Ford Broncos and Bronco Raptors from model years 2021 to 2026. Ford says insufficient protection on a wiring harness in the engine compartment could lead to exposed wires and short-circuiting, with drivers possibly noticing smoke in the air vents or a dashboard warning followed by flames on the passenger side. The automaker estimates about 1% of those vehicles have the defect and says it is not aware of any accidents or injuries. Dealers will install new covers over the wiring free of charge. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Your Cayman Islands Health Services Authority has been the national healthcare provider of the Cayman Islands for many generations. We have elevated our level of care to ensure you, our patients, have the best possible experience. We offer better access to care close to home with the most locations on all 3 islands, delivering a full range of primary, secondary, tertiary, and emergency care. HSA is a JCI accredited organization, and we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Born September 25th, 1947, at Watering Place, Cayman Brac, Royce Adolphus Dilbert was the firstborn son to Helen and Grace Dilbert, née Tibbets. Mr. Dilbert was a hard-working man who spent numerous years at sea, as well as employing his diverse skill sets on land. In 1979, he would marry Yvette Jackson and took employment with Kim and Brack Power and Light Company in 1981 as chief engineer, where he remained until his retirement in December of 2018. Heavily influenced by his wife, in 1982 he gave his heart to the Lord and joined her at Ebenezer Baptist Church, where he later served as interim pastor from 2002 to 2007, becoming pastor in 2017. Mr. Dilbert was a charter member of the Rotary Club of Cayman Brack, served as PTA president at Creek Primary School, worked with the youth in the community, president of the Veterans and Seamen Society, and was a member of the Development and Control Board Cayman Brack until his passing. Royce was a devoted father to 7 children, loved to fish, and had a passion for cars.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm your guest host, Orrett Connor, along with Dr. Steve McField in the studio. We still have a caller on hold. Right back to our caller. Caller, go right ahead.
Yeah, I also heard you guys made mention of us being independent way back when no other Caribbean island was independent. I think we had to be must be the second island in the Caribbean to be what you call independent. We wasn't independent in the way that they were independent, but we were an independent group of people in the Northwest Caribbean where we were named the island that time forgot. Nobody brought anything for us. We built our own transportation and went and get what we wanted. We didn't wait for nobody to come to us. And what was the Cayman Act that was implemented was not our idea. They were the one who thought that we was a bunch of renegades, outlawed renegades, and wanted to reel us in and attach us to a neighboring island. And that too was not our decision. And as soon as we got an opportunity, we break away from that. So I want all those people out there to know that, and that was the reason why we was attached. It was not our choice. That wasn't done by choice of the Cayman people. And I got jumped now, and then you all can talk about that if you all want. I got to jump now to I heard you all made mention of immigration earlier. When the campaign was going on, we was fed that concerning work permits were going to be a 5-year period with a 2-year break. And we were all clapping and jumping up. Only to be told now, but I still optimistic because Mr. O.C. Connor have clearly told me, no, don't.
More coming.
More is coming. Yeah, that's your exact word. More is coming. Now, the more that is coming, I heard, is that the rollover policy will remain because after meeting with the stakeholders, so who are the stakeholders? I thought we should be the more important stakeholders in this island. But after meeting with the stakeholders, apparently, the stakeholders have told our elected members that we elect what to do. Now, why is it that we have to wait until 4 years to do anything about the people we elect when England have changed 7 prime minister in the last 10 years? Can we not implement something where we can change them out too?
No, we can't.
Voting for the election.
We can't do that.
Dr. McField.
We can't do that. We have our constitution that we have to abide by, and our constitution says that we should have an election every 4 years. There's no
do say a lot of other things too that they don't do.
There are no provisions in the Constitution for an election before that, unless somebody resigns, somebody dies, or somebody got dismissed or whatever. The Constitution demonstrates and prescribe how that should happen, but we just can't, not like a premier, and then say he has to go. We remember now we are a subordinate legislature. Although we use the word parliament, parliament is only a high class dressing for what we are. We are actually a small colony that is run by the English, that's run by the British, and the governor is the executive officer. Despite what you might think about your premier and your deputy premier and your leader of the opposition, your deputy leader. The governor runs the country. The governor has the final say. The governor has the final say in the executive and in the legislation. The governor has the final say. So we are subordinate. There's people go around talking about we have full internal self-government. We do not have full internal self-government. We have responsibility over certain affairs in the ministries, but it's the governor. With the reserve powers and the powers of a disallowance and all of those things that prevent us from doing what they can do in Britain. But the British Parliament is superior. That's even superior than to the throne in England. So they don't like the party, doesn't like their prime minister. They oust him. They throw him out and they elect another person. We could do that here too. The NCF or FCF, whatever it is, we could do that here too. They could get together and say, we don't like the Honorable Andre Ebanks, and they could say, we're going to put somebody else, and they voted against him. And we have done that, actually. We have done that several times.
Right. So it's only the party that can have him removed.
Well, the governor the British government could have him removed too, because they could suspend the Constitution and suspend his powers like it did in Turks and Caicos.
So it's only the governor that can suspend the Constitution.
The Parliament from England can suspend the Constitution. The people who rule us, who owns us.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much, Lord Graham, for that. What I should point out also, and this isn't exactly the same thing, but quite recently I was reading up on British Virgin Islands news, and their House of Representatives just rejected the idea of having recall legislation that would recall members of Parliament. Now, I know that was a proposal that had some legs, that grew some legs here in Cayman as well. And one of the arguments against that was, you have a 4-year term, and it's such a short period of time, but it could also create so much upheaval if the legislation that you put in place isn't in such a way that you couldn't make frivolous moves to remove a member of Parliament in terms of recalling that person.
That's right. And the British, and we might criticize them for their colonial ways and how they built an empire and so forth. But they were very smart people.
Oh yeah.
Knowing the rules that I wouldn't say control people, that regulate people, but because they knew what people would do to each other.
Yeah.
And if we had the procedure for the recall parliamentarians in Cayman, every week you would have someone being recalled from East End or North Side or Georgetown or West Bay, and you would not get anything done.
Yep.
Because remember now, we are just in the infancy of our government system. Yeah. But we have always had a government system that was run by personalities. Mm-hmm. When I listen to some of the old debates in the legislature, I mean the Western, I mean, the only thing that they didn't do when I was fight, calling people a scorpion and saying that that they had killed the cow, pushed the cow down the hole, and all that sort of stuff. It had nothing to do with parliamentary language or parliamentary debate. It was all personal against this person or the other person. So now we are embarking on a modern parliamentary system that is only how old? I would say 15 years old since 2009.
2009, yeah.
Yes, and they're not doing bad. The only thing that I see that some of them do not understand how the Constitution works and how the standing order works.
Yes, yeah. And I think that, now we're seeing much more awareness, of that as well, especially after they're involving more and more parliamentarians in the whole management of Parliament.
That's right.
And everything, they're understanding more. We have a caller on the line, but we need to do we take a commercial break now, Paul, or we need to take a commercial break? Caller, hang in, don't hang up. We will take your call as soon as we return.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Get ready, Cayman. R&B, HBCU culture, and elevated island nightlife come together for the first ever HBCU Alumni Weekend, July 23rd through 25th. Kick things off Thursday at Bliss with DJ Shism from Tampa's 106.5 The Beat, plus special guest Lene Vanee and Major League Baseball Network's AJ Andrews. Saddle up on Friday for the R&B Rodeo at the Wharf. 4 DJs, 2 parties at one venue with sing-along classics and a mechanical bull. Hosted by Babs from Wild 94.1 Tampa and Tiny. Then Saturday, dress in white for R&B en bloc at Bacaro, an elevated evening with a 4-course dinner, welcome champagne, and after party. Grab your crew, plan your looks, and get ready for Cayman's hottest weekend of the summer. Get tickets now at CaymanHBCUweekend.com. Brought to you by Cayman Airways, the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism and Executive Services.
This is a public service announcement on behalf of the Water Authority of Cayman, who wishes to advise its Cayman Brac customers that its offices will be closed to the public on Friday, the 24th of July, 2026, to facilitate its staff function. Normal office hours will resume on Monday, 27th of July, 2026. We apologize for any inconvenience this closure may cause, and thank you for your understanding.
It's here. Multi-year trade and business licenses are now available. You heard right. You can apply for TBLs up to 5 years. Save time, reduce paperwork, and focus on growing your business. Apply online at dci.gov.ky. Apply for your multi-year trade and business licenses today.
Hi, this is Gary King from Totally 80s. My special guest this week is Christopher Cross. Christopher talks about the music he made early in his career. I'll also bring you up to speed with the latest news on the biggest stars of the decade.
This is Totally 80s.
Heard on Saturdays from 2 until 4 p.m. on Breeze 105.3 and 91.9. And brought to you with the kind compliments of KFC.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to For the Record. I'm Orrett Connor filling in for, welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Orrett Connor filling in for Mr. Charles Glidden with Dr. Steve McField in the studio and one caller on hold. So we're going to the caller. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today. Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Oh, not bad, and good afternoon to you're both legends, Mr. Dr. McField and you. I like what's happening with a lot of Caymanians. You know, you have a lot of good things happening, and Caymanians taking a lot of good, strong positions and achieving a lot. I also want to mention a little poetry. I don't know if you might have time for that. I have like about 12 lines.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I sort of interpreted the Cayman Forward thing in my own little way. So this one is Cayman Forward Part 2. It says, let the experts do their thing. Let us be optimistic. Pleasing the majority is, in my opinion, truly realistic. Just believe and you'll receive. We have to look forward. Forward, Cayman forward. There must be reward. There will be benefits in future times in cooperation. So just believe in good works whilst rejecting stagnation. Look to the experts. They will make things better for our island. No need to criticize as we don't see as yet the full plan. Cayman forward. Let's advance and be up to speed. It's a proposal that's good for Cayman. Let them lead. And so, Cayman Forward sounds like a plan of success, while we avoid criticism and much unnecessary stress. Written by the Poet Laureate Craig Brown.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown, for that as well. So, Doc, we're gonna look at an act for the government of the Cayman Islands, passed on the 22nd of June, 1863.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to read portions of it and get you to comment, on it. So it starts by saying, whereas certain magistrates and other inhabitants of the island of Grand Cayman have from time to time, in vestry or otherwise, passed or assumed to pass certain acts or resolutions for the government of the Cayman Islands. And whereas doubts are entertained whether such acts or resolutions are of any effect in the said islands, and by what authority laws may be made for the government of the same, and what laws are actually in force therein, and it is expedient that such doubts should be set at rest. Be it therefore enacted by the Queen's most excellent Majesty, by and with the advice and consent of the Lords spiritual and temporal and commons in this present Parliament assembled, and by the authority of the same as follows. So put that in Caymanese for our listening and viewing audience.
Well, they were not only doubting, they stated that they did not accept what the Caymanians people, the legislature had done. They say certain vestry.
Yes.
Yes, you can see the words they use. that they were not going to accept that to continue. And to remember how the West started. It all started because there was no constitutional or political affiliations with Jamaica. The governor of Jamaica was the governor of Cayman, and even after 1865, when the Spaniards lost the power in Jamaica, and 1870 and 1867 when they had the Madrid Agreement,
Treaty of Madrid, yeah, Treaty of
Madrid,
yeah.
Cayman was left out. And the people had been begging because Cayman had been threatened by Cuba, Spaniards in Cuba. They had come here and they had fired on Fort George and so forth. And the people had written to the governor in Jamaica, say, listen, we cannot continue with this indefinite threat to our society. What we want you to do for us, give us the right to raise taxes. Give us the right to raise a militia to protect our rights. Give us the rights to increase the power of the petty court, and give us 2 more magistrates. And the governor says, I can give you 2 more magistrates, but I can't give you the right to raise an army and to raise taxes and so forth. And they send them back to Cayman. Wade Watley was the one who carried the message, the letter from the legislature here,
from the vestry, yeah,
saying this is what we need to protect our interests. He came back at the end of November to Cayman from through Black River, and he called a meeting with all of the freedmen on the 5th of November, and he told them this is what the governor had said to us. He brushed us off. And they decided, we are going to meet here next week. And they met at Pedro St. James on the 10th. And they started their own government, their own legislature, upper house and lower house. And they formed their own government. They formed their own government. I called it a first constitution because it dictates how the legislature should work. And they came to Georgetown on the 2nd of January. And they displayed their government. The only 2 people that did not have it was not in the legislature was East End and North Side at the time. And they raised an army. They passed all of these laws. When the militia laws, all the laws that you could pass, and they said all men. Freedmen between 16 and 60 had to serve in the militia, in the army, and the government raised taxes on houses and schooners and catboats and cows and bulls and everything that they could tax. And they gave the militia guns and powder and uniforms.
Wow.
And they ran the country without Jamaica until this act came into force. That is why that first line was there. We doubt what the laws they passed were lawful and so forth, and with their majesty, with their right to control them, that's what they go on to say they were going to do.
Do you believe that, Doc, that if it was in this day and age, because there may have been a loophole at that point in time, or I wonder if there would have been a loophole that we could have argued that by neglecting us for all of that period of time that we had the right to do what we did, because they neglected and ignored us.
They would have sent gunboats and invade the island and put us all in jail. That's what they would have done.
And you think that we were that important to them at that stage?
That's right. They would have taken us back to London in shackles. That's what they would have done to those men, and tried them for treason.
But they didn't do it to Ian Smith in 1960 or 62 when he made a unilateral declaration of independence with Rhodesia.
Different times and different kind of men. Remember now, these people were on the planters.
Yes.
And remember now, these people deserted from Cromwell's army in Jamaica. Remember Lord Cromwell when he deposed Charles I and England was a republic.
Right. Charles I was beheaded. Yeah.
So these guys had brought us over there with them to work for them. That's why Cayman was not wealthy and rich, because these were not rich people from Europe. These were runaway soldiers, the Bordens and the Edens and the Jacksons and all of those people.
Okay, so let's look at the document. So here's one of the first things. So it says, all acts or resolutions heretofore passed or purporting to have been passed at any meeting of the magistrates or representatives or of justices and vestry or of the vestry of the island of Grand Cayman shall, so soon as a fair copy of the same shall have been signed by the governor of Jamaica in verification thereof, be deemed to have been valid and effectual for all purposes whatever within the said Cayman Islands from the date at which the same shall purport to have been passed.
You see, they validated everything that we had done to make it legal, so that they didn't have to try us as treasonous people.
Okay.
And so what they did, they validated everything that we did, all the laws that we did, they validated them. And then look at what they said next.
Okay. So it says, it shall be competent to the legislature of Jamaica to make laws for the peace, order, and good government of the said islands, and by such laws to alter or repeal all or any of the aforesaid acts or resolutions, and also to give to the justices and vestry or other body or bodies of persons in the said islands such power of making laws or regulations for local purposes within the same as to the said legislature may deem fit.
They gave Jamaica power over us then to make laws for us, or to repeal any law that we had made, or to take any action that they thought fit. And this is what that paragraph there is the thing that separated Jamaica from Cayman. Caymanians never forgot that, and said, we are not going to have Jamaica dictate to us. That was the break between Cayman and Jamaica.
And in this, it seems as if this second point here, that the legislature in Jamaica would determine what laws we could pass here for our own purposes.
That's right. That's right. And then look how the administration should go. What it says.
Okay, let's go. It says, until it shall be otherwise provided by the said legislature, it shall be lawful for the said justices and vestries in their accustomed manner, or in such other manner as shall be prescribed in writing under the hand and seal of the governor of Jamaica, to make such regulations as to them shall seem fit for the following purposes. That is to say, so this is now what the Jamaica legislature can allow us to do, right? Okay. Respecting their own constitution and procedure, respecting the powers and duties of public officers, and especially respecting the powers, functions, and procedures of justices of the peace and officers acting under their authority, and respecting appeals from the decisions of such justices to the Supreme Court of Jamaica.
Yes.
Respecting the establishment, maintenance, discipline, and powers of the police, respecting the management, occupation, and disposal of public property or common land, respecting the abatement of nuisances, the construction of works of public utility, the making of roads, the cleansing of streets and houses, and other matters affecting the health or convenience of the community, respecting the custody of offenders and accused persons, respecting the imposition and collection of rates and taxes, and respecting the custody and expenditure of the proceeds thereof. And that is a provision.
Yes, right.
Provided always that no justice of the peace shall, by virtue of any such regulation, try any suit or action without the consent of the parties therein, in which the value of the matter in dispute shall exceed £100, nor take cognizance of any criminal crime, nor sentence any offender to the payment of a fine of more than £50, or to imprisonment for a longer term than 12 months.
Complete control over the Jamaica legislature, not the governor this time.
Yes,
to the Jamaica legislature, because all of those men who were both magistrates and who were justices of the peace got their commission from the governor of Jamaica before this legislation came in.
Okay,
but now we're under Jamaica, as if administered by Jamaica, as if we were part of Jamaica. You think Caymanians like that? Caymanian people were angry about that. They fought that for years and years and years and years. And it was only until 1962 when the chances came that they walked away out of that trap that the 1863 Parliamentary Act imposed upon us.
Yes. So, and then number 4, no regulation made by such justices and vestries or other legislative authority in the said islands shall take effect until the same shall have been signed by the officer administering the government of Jamaica in token of his assent thereof, and every such regulation may be disallowed by Her Majesty by order in council, or through order of her principal secretaries of state, and shall cease to be of any effect so soon as the disallowance thereof shall be proclaimed within the island. So here we have again the disallowance of laws.
They completely took the power away from us. Completely took the power away from us. Yes.
Okay, we have a caller. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. O.C.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
To Dr. Steve McField here.
Good afternoon, sir.
Very interesting conversation and topic here. I just like put in a little something that seemed to have some bearing on it.
Okay.
The governors, 1831 in Jamaica, and then again in 1863, were possibly the two most infamous, brutal governors that Jamaica ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Belmore in 1831, when they received that delegation from the Caymanian, I think it was, as I said, Mr. Wade Borden, I think. One of the Bordens, anyhow, who was a...
Wade what? The Borden?
Weird Watler Borden, yes. Well, he was Watler, his mother side. He was the one that ordered the execution of over 332 slaves in December of 1831 because of that
the Baptist War to come on Montego Bay.
Problem there at the big house there, the oh boy, I've forgotten the name of it, and a little trash house fire caused it to burn to the ground. What they call a Christmas rebellion by some, but then he was replaced with Sligo because he took sick with cancer of the throat or the tongue also and was sent back home to England, and many Jamaicans said it was retribution for that incident. And then here, because he could have done otherwise, easily have done otherwise. Then he was replaced with another Irishman, the two back-to-back Irish governors, Lord Sligo, whose real name was Peter Brown Foe, Sligo, Ireland. And then here in 1865, the same governor who ordered the execution of over 630, again, slaves, former slaves, they weren't slaves anymore. And the most prominent one was Paul Bogle, who actually had, he was a very successful farmer. So he wasn't suffering, and he did for his people there, fellow Jamaicans, in Stony Gut, 45 miles from San Diego de la Vega, which was Spanish Town, which was where the governor's office was. And here they walked 45 miles, which is some walk at that time.
That's right.
To him, and he refused to even speak to Paul Bogle. He refused to speak to him after that walk. He had to walk back. That's 45 miles. That's rough going fast now. What do you think about that? And then he had him executed along with George William Gordon, who was really just a lawyer who got interested in this and was also very, very interested in the plight of his fellow Jamaicans and so forth. He actually had a privileged upbringing and so forth and all that. You can read about him. But it shows you the mentality of the whole thing. And I have often thought, I guess I'm wrong with it, but I hold to that the first elections that were held here and those laws about the firearms, yes, part of it was with the Spanish coming here now and then, but I think it may have been a reaction to this, because there were huge slave uprisings at that 1831 incident. There were huge slave uprisings in Jamaica, and there was the fear. Remember, sometime before
yes, I agree with you.
Long Celia, that it might happen here. So that pile of weapons and that militia idea, whichever country should have some militia. It was, I think, in response to Governor Belmore's actions and response to the idea that may happen here, because slaves loading or unloading the vessels from Jamaica would often hear about their things that were happening there. It wasn't any secret anymore, and they knew that very soon this slavery thing would have to come to an end. And I think that was part of it. I don't know how they were nominated to be elected, and we certainly know no slave was on that roster.
No, there were no slaves. There was no slaves. They were men of color, but they were freed men.
Yeah. And then there were two of the Edens. One was on one house, the upper house. One was the legislative, the elected and so forth, the Jacksons at that time, prominent people, the Bordens. So I don't know if the whole intention of that election was pure democracy or just something of a collective response to get a response with an elected body to say, well, we're not going to have any slave rebellions here and so forth. I just saw that, tossed that out.
I think,
here.
yes. I think, caller, I think I agree with you with that because remember too that the planters here did not have any protection from the crown, and they were also worried about Haiti, who had not long ago gotten their slave rebellion and gotten their freedom, and people were worried, even in America, about what could happen in America too with the slaves rebelling and taking over the white societies that they lived in.
Yes.
And it was the Watlers, most of the Watlers family and the Edens family that was behind that election, because Stephen Watler Jr. was one of the people who wrote the letter with the chief magistrate.
Yes.
And he became the lieutenant of the army, of the militia afterwards.
Okay.
And John Drayton was the man who...
John Drayton, Stephen Watler Jr. and Wade Watler Borden were the one who wrote the letters. They were the three signatures to the letter to the governor in Jamaica.
Yes, there were three signatures.
Caller, thank you.
It was an elite group.
Yes.
Yes, have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller.
Hello, caller.
I think he's gone.
Okay.
We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we're going to go over the other sections 5, 6, and 7 and 8 of this act as well.
Yes.
Act for the Cayman Islands. Folks, please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. The ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom. The land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit cineco.ky today. Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered.
Housing in the Cayman Islands affects families, renters, first-time buyers, seniors, and vulnerable residents. The Cayman Islands Public and Affordable Housing Policy and 10-year strategic plan provide a coordinated framework to improve housing access, increase supply, and guide phased implementation over time. Public presentations are being developed and will provide opportunities for the community to learn more about the policy and plan. Learn more and get the facts at gov.ky/housing plan. A message from the Ministry of Planning, Lands, Agriculture, Housing, and Infrastructure.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. We have a caller on WhatsApp. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Orrett.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. And good afternoon, Dr. Matthew.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm enjoying the conversation while I'm working. I mean, it's very educational for me, and I enjoy listening
to
your conversations. And I want to share something with you because I have a little bit of rebellion in me as well. But I tame myself. I tame myself. I'm not that don't eat man. So criminals prefer unarmed civilians, and dictators prefer unarmed civilians. And if that doesn't tell anybody anything, then we are not paying attention. That's what I would like to share, because I've been an advocate for self-defense as well. That what I feel is that is being stripped away from us because of consequences that could be, brought up to us for defending ourselves.
And
so
can you
that's
repeat
what I
that?
just wanted to share.
Can you repeat that against criminals?
Criminals prefer unarmed civilians, and dictators prefer unarmed civilians. And if that doesn't tell us something, then we're not paying attention.
Okay. And I would imagine that in terms of dictators, when you talk about armed, not necessarily weapons, but not being armed with the information that they need to defeat and to deal with a dictator.
Exactly. Thank you, Mr. Orrett.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For that.
Great day.
You too. So, Section 5 of this Act, Doc, says, except as they may be consistent with the aforesaid acts or resolutions and subject to any such alterations as may be made by authority of the aforesaid legislature of Jamaica, and to such regulations as may from time to time be made under authority of this Act, the laws now in force in Jamaica shall from the date of this Act be deemed to be in force in the said island so far as the same shall be applicable to the circumstances thereof. And 6, the officer administering the government of Jamaica shall have, as far as they may be, the same powers and authorities in respect of the said islands as if the same had been part of the islands of Jamaica. And that phrase there is extremely important because people, confuse that. And the side notes on each of these two sections, the number 5 was the laws of Jamaica to take effect in the Cayman Islands. And then the last one, governor of Jamaica to be the governor of the Cayman Islands.
Yes.
So that one, and I'm going to read it again. The officer administering the government of Jamaica shall have, as far as may be the same powers and authorities in respect of the said islands as if the same had been part of the island of Jamaica. Plain language for us, Doc.
Yes, and that is what a lot of people got confused. that we were a dependency of Jamaica.
Yes.
We were not a dependency of Jamaica. We were administered by the governor of Jamaica as if we were part of Jamaica.
Yes.
So that means that everything that happened in Jamaica, all the laws in Jamaica apply to us, and the governor had the right to enforce them in Cayman.
Cayman, yes.
That's what that means.
Thank you very much for that. That's a very good breakdown of it. And then number 7, the Supreme Court of Jamaica and all officers thereof shall have and exercise in respect to suits, actions, questions, or prosecutions arising in the said islands, which may not be lawfully which may not be lawfully triable by such authority therein, or which, in conformity with any law or regulations in force therein, may be referred for the decision of the said court, the same jurisdiction and powers as if the same islands were part of the islands of Jamaica. And what it says there, power to Supreme Court of Jamaica to try cases or causes arising in the said islands.
That's right. They gave the Jamaica Supreme Court the power to administer the legal jurisdiction over any appeals, anything that comes up in the Cayman Islands. Just the same as our Constitution now gives the Grand Court and our Court of Appeal the right to adjudicate anything that arises in a litigation or anything on the election law or the Constitution to those courts to decide who's right and who's wrong.
Okay, we have a couple of calls. Let's go to the phone lines. First caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Connor.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, Mr. McField.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
I just had a quick question. Do you think in some manner, fashion, or form that history is sort of repeating itself here for the Cayman Islands in conjunction with all you're discussing with Jamaica? Not especially in terms of governance, but in terms of where we see a predominant, Jamaica's a predominant, and I say this respectfully and without prejudice, Jamaicans are a predominant nationality here on Ireland, and they also hold many what I would call powerful positions or high-ranking positions, even in government, and are the majority. I think the last survey was that nationality was dominant in the amount of persons that we had here in Ireland out of all the different nationalities. But
yes, I think some 19,000.
Right. So as I'm listening to the discussion and I'm taking little bits and pieces here and there, it's not the exact same scenario, but it seems to me that some sort of cycle is repeating itself or coming back in a different fashion, and maybe again, I say this without prejudice, maybe with a different skin color, if I can say that public without sounding biased or prejudiced. But I just wanted to hear what your feedback was on that, and see whether I was picking up wrong or there could be some type of reoccurring. Sometimes they say history repeats itself. Some sort of how. Yes. Yeah, okay. Thank you. I'll leave you to answer that.
Thank you very much. Good question, Doc.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think what's happening though is that the old merchant class people who dominated the economy and also were the landed class and who existed on slave labor in those days, free labor. They were not better than the slaves. The only thing that supported them was the law that between them. Mm-hmm. They were not better than the slaves. But that's how they existed. Now they have been pushed aside. I'm just using ordinary language. I don't want to go into all this sort of highfalutin language because people don't understand. They have been pushed aside, and there are other players now who are come into the country who dominate the economic system. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They're the ones now who are acting as if they are acting as the modern slave masters. Profit is their bottom line. How they can keep their money and make more money. That's what all the wars are all about in the world today. And so in order to keep their money and make more profit, they have found a way. They have found that people like us who don't believe in uprisings, who don't believe in
pushback,
and tit for tat, don't believe in all of these things, who are meek and so forth, and they found that out earlier, and then they discarded us because they know that we are not going to stand for all of the shenanigans because we are a Christian country. That's what we say we are. And so what they do, they brought people from abroad, just like how the slave master brought slaves from Africa and other people to do the work for free. They are bringing economic people now, deprived in their own country, with cheap labor. Cheap labor wants us to give a favorable immigration policy to them, so that they can make more money, and they can ostracize our people and make our people powerless.
Mm-hmm.
Our people are powerless because our people have never actually gotten together to dominate this island.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I saw our people getting together is when we went to sea. And because we were strangers abroad, we all had to congregate each other, even if we were not on the same ship. When we heard the ship next door, Caymanas on it, we went over there and we met them. We never thought that this country would be the way it is today. And so what we are doing, we are allowing people who are more richer than the richest Caymanians in this country to dominate the country. And when you have that kind of money and that kind of power, you can dictate to people who actually runs the country. And that's the problem that we have. It's not because of color, and it's not because of reversing. It's because Jamaica has a vast amount of cheap labor. People from Kingston, from St. James, are waiting to be able to eat properly, to send their children to school properly, to buy good clothes, to buy a good home, and they can offer that. They can get that through Cayman by working for these people.
Yeah. What I would add to that, Doc, would be that also this piece of legislation here possibly laid the foundation for what came after, because it started, with the laws and the legislature of Jamaica. Then later on, when we required civil servants, public servants to come, they came from Jamaica as well. We have to take into consideration the proximity of Jamaica to Cayman as well, and the travel, back and forth. So it's a combination of things. But I would say that this Act of 1863, that this basically laid the foundation, for our connection, with Jamaica from a legal standpoint, and then from later on from an economic standpoint as well. We have to go to our 2 o'clock news, and we do have a caller on hold. We're going to take that caller as soon as we return. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Covering Little Cayman, Cayman Bride.
Cover me. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
I'm April Cummings with your headlines. Cayman Islands Champions Elite Sports Club begin their CFU Club Shield campaign this afternoon in Trinidad. Elite face British Virgin Islands side Virgin Gorda United at 3 o'clock our time at the Atto Bolden Stadium. A win would send Elite to the round of 16 on Saturday. In regional news, Guyana will host the 2027 Carifta Games, stepping in just 1 week after St. Kitts withdrew its bid to host the Caribbean's top junior athletics event. The announcement came Thursday from the North American, Central American, and Caribbean Athletic Association, which also confirmed Barbados will host the Games in 2028. President Mike Sands credited swift intervention from CARICOM heads of government, thanking Guyana's President Ali and Barbados Prime Minister Motley for securing the immediate future of the region's premier youth track and field championship. Grammy-winning singer Chris Brown has pleaded guilty to brawling at a London nightclub in a fight where he struck a music producer over the head with a bottle. The 37-year-old entered the plea today in London, changing course after previously denying more serious charges. In return, prosecutors dropped counts of assault, attempting to cause grievous bodily harm, and possessing an offensive weapon. Brown's friend and vocal coach, Omolalu Akinlolu, also pleaded guilty. Prosecutors called it a vicious and unprovoked attack caught on surveillance camera in a crowded Mayfair club back in February 2023. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm your guest host, Orrett Connor, Dr. Steve McField in the studio on one caller on hold. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon again, Mr. Connor.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon again.
This is Craig Brown. I'm not Chris Brown's cousin, but we still Browns.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say something, Mr. Connor. Speaking about Cayman history and the little or the much that I know,
mm-hmm.
my great grandfather, who was from Miamotley's
Barbados, yes.
Barbados. You heard about my great grandfather?
Yes, read about him too.
Yeah, he was one of the early leaders that had a big family in Cayman. A lot of people don't know that they got little Barbadian blood too.
He was one of the most educated persons in the Cayman Islands at that time. So educated that some of his quotes, the then the commissioner, had to take time off from the House Assembly to go and do research and come back to respond to him.
When he started quoting Shakespeare.
Shakespeare, yes.
But C.H.L. Goring was brought here by the rich merchants to teach their children.
Mm-hmm.
He was not as ordinary school teacher to everybody else, everybody in the island. He taught in Cayman Brac as well to all of those rich people in Cayman Brac, the riches, the Cocornals and people like that. He became a member of the legislature of the Westray,
mm-hmm.
and I have a photograph of him in my office in front of Pedro St. James with all some of the men there in 1914, 1912, 1914. The commissioner said that he was one of the most educated men that he had ever met, and he was not only a teacher, but he was also a law agent. In other words, in those days it would be called an attorney,
mm-hmm.
but because we had no bar here in Cayman, they were called law agents.
Okay.
Your law agents, and they would take the cases, and then they would refer them to the Jamaica lawyers when they come down twice a year when the Grand Court resumed twice a year from Jamaica. That was one of the things that Jamaica administered us. The Grand Court would come twice a year to hear the cases. So let me tell you. Let me give you a little example of a Caymanian who went to one of those Grand Courts. There's you remember Miss Katie, Miss Maudie's sister.
Katie, yep.
Well, she would always go to the Grand Court. In those days, men had to wear suit to get into the Grand Court. Fell hot, and you had to wear. Women had to have their head covered and so forth. So they had a famous case. I think it was a case where my friend Ivan Farrington had been charged for assaulting Carl
Brandon. Yes.
And he wanted a jury trial. And the government didn't want to give him a jury trial because they knew that they said that if he had a jury trial, he would win the case because all the Caymanians would support each other. So they were hoping to have a non-jury trial. And they were arguing in court that day about it. The lawyers that was supporting Ivan, and the lawyers that was supporting Brandon, the Crown. So my grandmother was out in her yard on Mary Street, sweeping the breadfruit leaves on from under the tree. There comes Miss Katie coming down the road with her pocketbook under her arm, and she's muttering to herself. So when she got to my grandmother's gate, my grandmother came and said to her, Katie, what are you talking to yourself for this morning? She said, Aunt Sarah, I just came from that Grand Court. And she said, what a spectacle that is. She said they're trying to crucify that boy, And my grandmother said, what boy? She said, that boy from West Bay. And she said, Sarah, all of these black men sitting down behind on this table with all this false white hair on their head. And she said there was another black man sitting higher up on another chair who had longer black hair, white hair on his head, false hair on his head. And she said, Sarah, they were bobbing down to him saying, my Lord, and he didn't look like no Jesus, She said he was blacker than Albert Smith.
Wow, well, caller, anything else before you leave us? Oh, okay, call dropped. Okay. You want to take that commercial break now, Paul? And then we go right through after until 2:30? Ready for me to come to you for a commercial break? Folks, please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Freedom, Cayman Rack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Water Authority wishes to provide an update regarding the recent incident involving unauthorized emails being sent from a Water Authority email address. We can confirm that the issue has been successfully contained and corrective actions have been fully implemented. Based on our investigation, the activity appears to have been limited to the use of a Water Authority email address to distribute a phishing email to a targeted recipient list. There is no evidence that any customer data was compromised, and we have identified no ongoing risk related to this incident. As an added precaution, the authority is implementing enhanced security measures to further strengthen our systems, improve monitoring capabilities, and reduce the likelihood of similar incidents occurring in the future. If you receive any suspicious email claiming to be from the Water Authority, please delete it immediately and avoid opening any attachments or links. We thank our customers and the public for their cooperation and vigilance.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Hello, Cayman. I am Azaria Oswald, your contestant number 4, proudly representing the beautiful and historic district of Bodin Town. And I am sponsored by the Phalanx Group. I am passionate about mental health advocacy, leadership, and giving back to my community. This passion inspired me to create my platform, Mind Over Matter, because I believe that the mind leads and the body follows. Through this platform, I strive to encourage meaningful conversations surrounding emotional well-being and ensuring that every teen feels seen, supported, and heard. I am also the founder of Bloom Youth, a non-profit organization dedicated to uplifting and empowering young people. Outside of advocacy, I love writing poetry and stories. I have been writing a book of my own since I was 11 years old. One day, I aspired to become a clinical psychologist and continue making a meaningful difference in the lives of others. Thank you, Cayman, for supporting me on this incredible journey, and I can't wait to see you all on August 8th.
Hey, Cayman, this is DJ Lynn. Catch me live weekdays from 7 till 10 a.m. on the Morning Breeze, our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM. We're waking you up with the best adult contemporary hits with the 70s, 80s, 90s, and much more. So start your morning the Cayman way with me, DJ Lynn, on the Morning Breeze.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. We're on the last leg of the show this afternoon with Dr. Steve McField, and I am your guest host, Orrett Connor. We have a caller on WhatsApp. Before we take the caller, we did have a WhatsApp message come in as well, and person wrote and said, "Hey, I have a curious question for either of you. In your opinions, do you believe we have ultra powerful oligarchy persons in the Cayman Islands? And if not, do you think they would be interested in our wealthy country and cloak themselves as average civilians and shadowing governance over us through the average Caymanians in position?" So what they're saying, basically, they are either whether or not we do have powerful oligarchies or persons here in Cayman, or if they may be here, under the cloak of just being an average person, but using Caymanians to wield their power.
I don't think so.
You think so? Okay.
No, I don't think the word is that news would have been revealed a long time ago. Everybody would know where they live and what they do and where they eat.
Yes, yeah. Okay, let's grab our caller. What's up, caller? Good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon, OC, and good afternoon, Dr. Steve. Let me say before I begin what I have to say, that I think when you and Dr. Steve are on, speak to the director of Cayman. They should give you an extra 30 minutes because there's so much there to be learned.
Thank you.
It's always good, of course. Yeah, it's always good to hear something about Cayman history and all those things. Now, there are 2 points I want to make. I think I can make them in 2 minutes. This morning, also, we had a little bit of a chat about accountability in the judiciary and judicial administration. Now, I don't want to repeat what I said at the time, but you asked me a question at the time was, well, how do you hold people accountable? For example, those who deleted records. And I thought I should give you just a little bit of a response on that.
Okay.
As you know, under the National Archives and Public Records Law, Section 6, there is a duty of every agency to keep and maintain records. And then under Section 11 of the same Act, it is a crime to destroy or damage records or dispose of them unlawfully. And then it also says, which is very interesting, they specifically say that destruction of records is also a ground for, quote, discipline or dismissal. And then, of course, under Section 55 of the FOI Act, Freedom of Information Act, it's also an offense to destroy records. So those are the things that can be done. In other words, the sanctions are both criminal as well as administrative. I did try to get some people disciplined for the destruction of record I was talking about. I never got anywhere with that. But now, what do we do about this? I think that we need to learn from the structure of the Civil Service Appeals Commission. The Civil Service Appeals Commission, if you have a problem, as you know, having been a chief officer, you've got a problem with a chief officer, an official member, or even the deputy governor, you appeal to the Civil Service Appeals Commission. But the difference is when you go there, you don't meet the same people. The people who are there are private sector people. They've got one lawyer. They've got people from the private sector who are in human resources. So when they are judging the matter, they are not insiders, which is the problem on the judicial side. Because on the judicial side, you go to the Chief Justice, you go to the Commission, they are the same judges. Then you challenge the Commission, you go for a judicial review, you meet the same judges. I think if we had a system that's similar to the one they have in the civil service, just allow private people to judge judges and get legal advice the way you do like in a jury system. I think that will be much more useful. Otherwise, that's what I wanted to say about that. About short thing about Burnham, the new prime minister. I think that in the UK, they should also introduce a direct election of a prime minister. When you go to vote, you vote for your MP as well as a prime minister. I do not think that even with the system of first among equals as a constitutional concept, I don't think that it is justified anymore for somebody who to just become elected a few weeks ago and today a prime minister. And I think it's good that in Cayman, we are already thinking of that. And I think there's been some discussion here. James Whittaker has been leading the discussion of that. I think it's good that in Cayman, we are thinking ahead of the UK. I thank you very much. I know you're about to go. Thanks very much.
Thank you
for the time.
Thank you very much, Billy. Good points there. Paul, you say we have one last caller on WhatsApp. That's going to be our last caller. A regular caller. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Hi, Mr. Connor. Quickly, I had two additional questions for Mr. McField.
Okay.
I wanted to know, I know he said this some time ago on your show, I believe, if I can recollect, but I wanted to know what he see are the benefits of the present political system here compared to the past political system where we had numerous individual candidates for each district before we, broke up into these sub districts and introduced a one man, one vote. And the reason why I'm asking that because I felt that the old political system worked much better because let's say Georgetown for an example quickly, we see that for different parties or independent candidates have gotten in Georgetown with these sub districts. And that, for me, has indicated that Georgetown does not get sufficient and proper, adequate representation on a whole as a district of the island, not considering an electoral constituency. And so I want to see what he thought about this present system compared to the previous system, and if he's seeing the same thing I'm seeing.
Okay.
And also, I know that. I don't know if he can answer this, but I know the government is interested in forming a new electoral boundaries commission. I'm not sure.
Well, that's the governor makes that appointment along with consultations or the choice by the leader, by the premier and the leader of the opposition. Each have a representative. But we're going to...
I don't know. Yeah, I just want to quickly finish this out. I don't know if he is at this stage now, since that Electoral Boundary Commission, which he was on, made a recommendation of one additional MP. The numbers have increased in the island with population, and we know people have gotten status and more people can now vote. Would he consider that perhaps we would need an additional more than one MP if he's able to answer that? Just curious what his thoughts are on that.
Okay, Carla, thank you very much. I had a few questions there, but we want to go back to one earlier that was posed by that same caller. And in my response, I spoke about the proximity of Jamaica, that should be taken into consideration, along with this act of 1863 that basically laid the legal foundation for the ties between Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. And you had a very keen observation there that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, because Jamaica was only a stone throw from Cayman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so everything came from Jamaica. Doctors, lawyers, policemen, nurses, everything came from Jamaica. Barbados was different. Mm-hmm. Barbados was so far away from the UK. The planters had to travel a long distance to get to Barbados. And so what they did, they set up schools in Barbados, a place called Codrington College, to educate them how to run the country. And the Barbados took that education to educate themselves. And they started running their own country. Whereas in Cayman, they didn't educate us at all. They didn't build any fancy schools. Mm-hmm. They had an elementary school. You had to leave at 13 years old. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they told us, oh, you're not sophisticated. You are just seamen. And they made us, we were going around the world bragging, oh, we were the most skilled seamen in the world. But a lot of us couldn't read and write and didn't have any education. And that's you can see the results of that today. Mm-hmm. 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 We didn't go into the professions like the Bajans did. And we didn't educate our people just to be educated, like the Bajans did. Mm-hmm. And so we were still wandering around the world until the 1980s, 90s, 60s, and 70s, trying to make a living, mm-hmm. sending home money here. Mm-hmm. Now it's the opposite. The money's going away from here.
Yeah.
So this lady now is asking about the difference between the politicians today and the politicians yesterday, and the representation. Mm-hmm. Well, fortunately, the politicians of yesterday were different men. They didn't have all of these carrots
dangling in front of them.
Dangling in front of them. And they did it for the good of the community. Mm-hmm. They would leave their homes in West Bay, North Side, East End, and come to Georgetown to the Legislative Assembly and debate for days without getting paid.
Right.
Today now, it's the money. It's the bottom line.
Yes.
It's the blue and the bank, and it's a different kind of man today. Mm-hmm. Before, the land didn't worth anything to Caymanians. Caymanians had the land, what they call rich in land and poor in money.
Yes, yeah.
But today now the land worth much. And when you have that kind of economy, with people coming in, interacting with them, and they're going to lunches and having these proper lunches and being able to say, I had a lunch with Mr. So-and-so today, and he one of the richest men in Cayman, It's a different kind of situation today. Now, the system, you can't continue in the old way of the world. The world is moving on. Even the galaxies are moving on. Even the universe is moving on. We have moved on, and we have reached a point where we have to abide by all of the international laws of representation. Mm-hmm. And the one man, one vote, single member constituency is the international standards for electing people. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We can't have where people can vote for 4 people. That is not good democracy. It is not. It is the quality of people that they elect in the districts that is the problem. Some districts have great electors. Some don't have. The system of the population in the eastern districts, we warned them last 2 years ago. You cannot kick the can down the road, because it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
It's best to deal with it now. There, you can.
But what about a carve out similar to what the carve out that we have in the Constitution for Cayman Brac, a little Cayman that says that they must return?
We recommended that too.
Yes,
we recommended that too.
Similar carve out for
because
for
otherwise it would be unconstitutional to continue electing two districts with less than 500 people, 600 people voters.
Yeah.
When the average constituency is like 2,000, 1,900 people, you have to go back and get a carve out like Cayman Brac did. That means to have an amendment to the Constitution.
Yes.
But people ignored it, and I'm so sorry that you had a few renegade politicians who actually sabotaged, I would say, the Electoral Boundary Commission, the report last time, and I hope that the governor doesn't allow that to happen this time.
Very good. Doc, I want to thank you. Thank you very much again. I'm going to be on here again, filling in on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And of course, whenever there's an open slot, I'm going to be contacting you to get you on here as well. I want to thank you. I want to thank all of those persons who called in, those who sent in WhatsApp messages as well. I want to thank Paul in the control room over there for an excellent job that he continues to do as well. And of course, I want to say a big hello to Miss Susan Watson. Hope she has a great weekend, and looking forward to seeing her, God's willing, on Monday as well. Folks, have a great weekend, and as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
Talk Today is brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.